Today we wanted to take a ride on our RD400, and it turned out to be a most unpredictable day. Among other things that we didn't expect, when we started out there was predictions of high winds. Well, I thought, so what? I'm on a motorcycle. It's not going to matter that much. But I have been on sport bikes and such where you just get sailboated all over the road. But I really, to be honest, I had never been out on the RD on super high wind conditions. The RD is worse. It's too light. I don't know why. It took all the fun out of the ride today, but we still got a short ride in. Now, I had a little sabbatical from motorcycling. Karen had some projects around the house we wanted to take care of. And the weather really wasn't that great the last couple days. So we took care of all the business. And what happened, what was left over of the day wasn't enough part of the day to really go out for a ride or to do anything. So I decided to organize my tools. Now, I know this is funny, but every once in a while, I get the bug to organize my tools. And I look at the tools, and I got to show you, this is pretty funny. I guess every one of us does the same thing, but yesterday was a tool organizing day. So I decided, I'll put all my buffers and drills and everything in one milk crate. I get in here and I said, geez, you know, I never can find a pair of scissors. Then when I dumped the bucket, I realized I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pair of scissors. And when I was at Harbor Freight, I bought some more Allen wrenches. I got enough Allen wrenches that I could go in business here. And I'm just wondering, I said, let me put all the pliers in one area. Well, yeah, how many pair of pliers does a man need? Well, I don't know. And screwdrivers. I guess probably have 25 screwdrivers and all my polishing stuff. But the point is, Karen organized some closets and some food stuff we have. I got my tools organized. What can I say? So while I was at it, I dumped some of these and organized the 8s and the 6s and the 5s and kind of got that ready. Got all my little spare parts and all the Loctite in one place. And when I was all done, I said, you know, there's something about the day you organize things, you feel good at the end of the day. And I just always feel good about getting everything lined up like little soldiers and everything. The winter motorcycle work season, we're already making concept sketches. Having the tools organized is a nice step forward. So I wanted to thank Joe again. The steel brake lines really made an upgrade on this. Now, one of the things, I have 3 sets of these rotors. These rotors that come from Zui really wear quickly. They warp. I've had 3 sets. All 3 of them are, and they get worse with age. So what I asked POKIE to find me a set. He's an EBC dealer. He found me a set out in Las Vegas, of all places, of EBC rotors, brand new. That's going to be our next upgrade. I checked. I don't have a line for the back. I want to put a steel brake line on the back. And so it's funny how one upgrade leads to another one, and all of a sudden I get the bug to upgrade this bike. Now winter is coming. Last season I did the wheels. I was real happy with that. What makes it worthwhile to me is I'm the original owner of the bike. I have plenty of spare parts. I have a spare bike, and the biggest thing of all is I love the bike. So thanks to John Pothier, we already have plenty of sketches of various things we want to do and parts we might want to paint, polish, modify. That's a project that's going to take on a life of its own once the winter season comes. And what happens, we're just coming up on the fall season here. It's starting to get chilly, starting to get cool in the morning, in fact. Time to get rid of the summer riding gear. I don't know, maybe a couple more rides. But what happens is then I really get the bug to start planning out my winter. And of course, every winter's different. That's the way I like it. Last winter we did the GS wheels, and among other things, the winter before that we did this bike. And then there was a winter before that. We basically spent 900 hours of a winter restoring this bike. And what makes it nice is every winter is different. Every year is different. Every project is different. We try to share them all on our channel and hope you, of course, enjoy sharing it with us. So it's about this time of year I start making a list, adding to it and prioritizing it. And right now I'm waiting to get the next project I'm going to try to work on is get the discs on the GS. I think that's going to be a major upgrade. And again, this is what makes having old motorcycles fun, is you always got to work on them. And if you don't like working on them, the answer is simple: buy modern bikes. But again, that's what's always happened to me, is I start doing one thing and it upgrades that, and I felt how nice the lever was. I get rid of the anti-dive. Now I've had it on, off, and finally I'm done with the anti-dive. Now having the new rotors will be the next upgrade on this. And I think, again, because to me these bikes that I have, and I put all this time and energy and money into, they're keepers. I really don't want to trade them in or sell them or whatever, hopefully. But who knows how many more years I'll be able to ride. I want to ride them right to the end. This is a funny thing, and it's true. I went out on the RD, went up to Luciano's the other day, and this bike was not running correctly, and we wound up not even going for a ride that day. We went for a ride on the trailer, but then I come home and I want to sell it, and I want to burn it, and I want to push it off a cliff, and then KARYN comes out with a cup of coffee, gives me a big hug, and says, "Honey, I bought you that for Valentine's Day 8 years ago. You can't sell that bike." And she brings me back to reality. Thank you, KARYN. So then I always wind up with this very silly question. If I didn't do this, and if I didn't work on motorcycles, and if I didn't do paint work and spend my hours doing this, what is it I would do? Well, there's a lot of good sports and that would keep you in shape. Tennis for sure, golf, whatever. But I don't know what attracts me to the bikes. I can't even explain it, but I know other people that have the same bug I have, the same passion. Dale, for instance, I imagine how many hours and but then there's that morning, and today is the morning. You come out to the garage and you're all set to go for a ride, and you don't even know which bike you want to ride, and that's what makes it all worthwhile. And one final thing I wanted to show. This is one of the sets of discs I have. These are EBC replacement floater discs for this bike. Now what I do, and I guess it's just my habit, once the discs warp up or they have a problem, I resign them to the wall of honor over there. And if you ever were in my cellar or in my kitchen, I have brake discs everywhere. So what it means is, it probably means something. It probably means I'm rough on equipment. I don't know. Anyway, we do have the new set coming, and we'll install that as one of our project videos in the near future. And it's hard to explain how much fun KARYN and I have had with the garden. We harvest 4 to 10 pounds of vegetables every morning here. She's actually done with today's harvest. It's time to get the farm put away because it's a riding day. I want to get out on the open road. And the birds always are here waiting for me to feed them. They just sit there waiting. And it's always good to have an extra cup of coffee before you get out on the open road. That always keeps you alert. So you won't believe it, but this is a kohlrabi. The first, they're actually pronounced kohlrabi. Eastern European vegetable. I love these. These are like candy to me. I have 3 plants out there. Each one has 3 or 4 individual pieces of vegetable. We got some nice sized tomatoes this morning. We're still getting eggplants. We got 1 eggplant still producing. And if you love to eat these cherry tomatoes, she made 5 quarts of sauce the other day from this. Amazing. Fresh cut flowers every day, and a harvest, and that's been our summer. So after a final check of the weather, it seems like we got a windstorm coming through here. We're going to go out anyway. I'm not sure you can see the wind, but I know I probably have to edit out some of the wind noise here. I have to do some voiceovers today, but bright sunny day, but that wind is howling. Wow. Well, I just wish that wind wasn't blowing today. Whoa, man alive. That's what this is all about with this wind. Holy mackerel. I knew right away, even a minute or two into this trip, this was not going to be a great day. The wind was howling, it was blowing. The minute I got off the main highway, I said, this is crazy. This thing, you could get hurt out here. I don't know why. Maybe I never experienced it on the RD before, but high winds on this bike, not a great way to go, for sure. RD is a calm weather bike. Now, I always enjoy going through the gears on the RD. Another thing I always enjoy doing is cruising the local area, nice and relaxed cruising. But you know what? That wind just was too much for me. Doing what two strokes do best. This is what they do best. Now, as I was editing the footage, I saw that big bump just before this camera cut, and I remember that. I remember hitting that, whatever that was, a raised manhole or something in the road there. It got my full undivided attention. Well, I always say I never want to have a life of Groundhog Days, even if they're good Groundhog Days. Well, today certainly was not a Groundhog Day. Have not had a day that the wind ruined my ride in a long time. Now, as I cruised around here locally, I realized right away I wasn't really having a lot of fun. That wind was just blowing, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's even hard to keep a straight line on a moderate speed on a back road like this. But it just wasn't as much fun as I thought it would be, and I decided rather than pursue this day, sometimes it's better to just quit while you're ahead and save the mileage on the bike, I guess is the best way. But that wind really never stopped blowing today. Well, the wind was just too much for today. It was not fun riding in that wind. And we're getting blown all over the road. We're going to cut our losses here, live to fight another day. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Well, the result was, at the end of the day, I did the cleanup of the bike, and I did the usual stuff to get it ready for the next ride. But I'm planning several little modifications to the bike over the winter. I don't know when I'm going to get time to do them. And Luciano and I have been conspiring on some things we'd like to do. He has a spare GS gas tank that he's not using. And one of the things I thought would be a cool project, and I may or may not have time to do it this year, is we already did it for Luciano. I know the GS gas tank fits right on an RD with very little things getting in the way, and do up a Kenny Roberts paint job on it, which we've already done for him, by the way. And he had two of them at one time. But the GS gas tank, that's one of the things that should be a lot of fun. And what it'll do, it'll give me a little more mileage on this, a little more range or whatever. And not that I don't do this, I don't use this bike for long hauls anymore, but I do enjoy riding around locally on it, and I do enjoy interacting with Luciano. And when we get those two strokes going, or three, or if Mark Morgan got his two-stroke, or anybody, it's just fun getting them all together. It's always a lot of fun. These bikes, no, they're as cantankerous as can be. They make you crazy, and at the end of the day, you just wonder, you can't wait for the next time to ride them. But we are going to be making some changes very soon on the video. I don't know what. I'm not going to predict it. I have a list, and I prioritize it, and I change that all the time. It'll all be coming up on future videos. And just like the FCR, it became the yellow FCR. Just like all our evil twins, we never know what's going to happen. That's part of the fun of motorcycling. So I hope you did enjoy the video. Hope you enjoy our channel. We try to share useful information and most of all the fun we have with these bikes. And we post something new every day. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.